We live in a fast-paced world where calm seems like a luxury. But what if I told you it's possible to live without the constant burden of stress? Taoist philosophy reveals that peace doesn't come from control, but from acceptance, a way to live lighter and more authentically. In this video, we'll explore this simple and transformative path to a life with more serenity. How is your relationship with stress today? Comment below and let's talk. In The Art of Seeking Serenity Amid Modern Life, an ancient teaching from Lao Tzu offers an interesting path: emptying the mind. It seems simple, but this practice, known as letting go, helps us detach from the worries that drain us. Imagine being in a whirlwind of thoughts, letting each one flow without holding on, like watching clouds pass by. This is the first step to feeling inner peace, a place where you finally feel at home. This exercise of tranquility goes beyond simple meditation. It teaches you to stay calm even in chaos. Lao Tzu suggests that by setting aside what burdens the mind, be it worries, resentments, or unreachable goals, you can access a kind of inner silence. And this internal calm is a luxury, especially in a society that seems afraid of silence. Why not give it a try? Throughout your day, notice what agitates your mind and, instead of fighting it, allow those thoughts to dissolve naturally. Another interesting point is the practice of avoiding carrying the world on your shoulders. Many believe that solving everything is a matter of effort and control, but Lao Tzu disagrees. Imagine if you could lighten your mental load by simply not resisting so much. It's like floating in a river. Instead of swimming against the current, you let yourself be carried. In practical situations, like in a disagreement, sometimes it's best not to respond immediately. This pause creates a state of peace worth more than 1,000 arguments. Letting go of the need to have everything is a powerful trick for calming the mind. You know that feeling of needing certain things to be happy? Lao Tzu invites us to question this endless quest. Instead of seeking external validation, start noticing small, daily joys. For some people, it might be savoring a coffee without thinking about the next commitment. This kind of habit builds a sense of satisfaction that doesn't rely on big achievements. Serenity comes from the practice of living in the present moment and accepting simplicity. It's not about how many hours you spend meditating, but about noticing the beauty of ordinary moments and not letting them go unnoticed. A simple walk where you observe your surroundings can make a big difference. Try paying attention to details around you, the movement of the leaves, background sounds, and see how it changes your perception. In modern life, detachment might seem strange, but it's one of Lao Tzu's most liberating teachings. By freeing ourselves from expectations and surrendering to the flow of daily life, we reduce stress in a surprising way. If a day doesn't go as planned, instead of lamenting, see how it unfolds by itself. This kind of practice helps to change our way of facing challenges and, more importantly, removes the weight of always being in control. Finally, Lao Tzu encourages us to cultivate peace within, regardless of the circumstances around us. It's an invitation to find a solid foundation, an unshakable peace that remains even when the world seems to be falling apart. It's possible, and a simple practice can help. Take a few minutes each day to close your eyes and feel your breath. Not to try to empty the mind, but to connect with the present moment, a place where nothing is lacking and nothing needs to be changed. In a world that never seems to stop, the relentless pursuit of achievements can be a real test of endurance. Today's society values accomplishments so highly that for many rest feels almost like a forbidden luxury. When was the last time you felt you could simply be instead of always doing? This fast-paced rhythm creates a cycle of stress and burnout that gradually disconnects us from something essential. The simple pleasure of being present without rushing, without needing more than we already have. For many, the term self-optimization is almost like a mantra. We're always trying to improve ourselves, but do we know when to stop? It sounds contradictory, but there are times when striving to be the best version of yourself can become a trap. Lao Tzu once said that the endless pursuit leads us away from the natural path. Instead of trying to adjust every detail of our lives, maybe the key is learning to listen to what our body and mind truly need. Technology and social media act as displays of success, where the pressure to showcase an ideal life often hides a routine of exhaustion. It's as if we're all competing for a prize that, deep down, we're not sure we even want. Who hasn't caught themselves scrolling and unintentionally comparing themselves to others? And with that comes an anxiety that seems like part of the package. If you feel like you're always chasing something, try a simple exercise. Reduce your social media usage and notice how it affects your mind. In a society that demands constant productivity, even rest needs justification. The simple act of relaxing becomes something that must be earned as a reward for exhaustion. But Lao Tzu invites us to see things differently, questioning the need to always strive. What if we could allow ourselves to rest without guilt? Perhaps a good start is to permit yourself brief pauses throughout the day, to breathe and simply appreciate the moment without the pressure to be productive. Many people end up confusing this intense pace with progress. However, true advancement isn't in doing more and more, but in doing what truly matters. Lao Tzu teaches that life's natural flow isn't about rushing. It's about finding harmony in what truly nourishes us. It could be something simple, like spending more time in nature or dedicating yourself to a hobby with no strings attached. Small moments like these have an enormous impact on our well-being, far beyond what the pursuit of productivity offers. The disconnect from our natural rhythm can make us feel out of place, as if we're always a step behind who we should be. Lao Tzu suggests that instead of running, we should find our own pace, one that doesn't exhaust us. This doesn't mean abandoning our goals, but rather redefining what truly matters, focusing on what brings genuine peace and fulfillment. This quest for balance is a powerful antidote to the stress of modern life. And it's precisely this balance that leads us to understand that real progress is internal, not external. Next time you feel the urge to do more, why not ask yourself if it truly makes sense? Because in the end, it's not the quantity of achievements that defines us, but rather what these achievements bring us in terms of peace and satisfaction. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, take the opportunity to do so and continue exploring these reflections with us. In times when fame, wealth, and status are common obsessions, Taoist wisdom offers a refreshing view of the true value of simplicity. For many, the concept of success is tied to accumulation, but Lao Tzu reminds us that attachment to material possessions is a constant source of suffering. He suggests that by distancing ourselves from these pursuits, we can find genuine peace, a lightness that is lost when we focus solely on the external. Have you ever thought about what it would be like to live without the pressure of having more? The endless pursuit of possessions often leads us into a never-ending cycle. With every material achievement, a new desire for something bigger or better arises, leaving us perpetually unsatisfied. Lao Tzu invites us to reflect on the root of this restlessness. After all, do we truly need everything we desire? Instead of accumulating, he suggests the act of simplifying. This might mean donating unused clothes, reducing unnecessary consumption, or even simplifying our routines to focus on what really matters. For those who seek contentment, the key lies in detachment. It's not about giving everything up, but rather learning not to depend on these things to define who we are. A simple example: think of the sense of freedom that comes with traveling with only the essentials. When we reduce our possessions, we discover a new dimension of freedom. Lao Tzu teaches that true value isn't in what we own, but in how we live, free from the constant need to have more. Additionally, attachment to status can be a subtle trap. Recognition is pleasant, yes, but is it worth the emotional toll and external expectations? Lao Tzu suggests that by relying less on others' approval, we become more authentic and consequently happier. Instead of striving to be someone in others' eyes, we can focus on being someone for ourselves. Imagine the relief of living for yourself, without the pressure to impress or please everyone. Curiously, the more we try to obtain, the less fulfilled we feel. This paradox is common in materialistic societies, where people constantly feel dissatisfied no matter how much they have. Simplicity, as taught by Lao Tzu, is a reminder that happiness doesn't require grand acquisitions. Sometimes a coffee with friends or a walk outdoors brings a genuine joy that no amount of money can buy. The essential, after all, is in moments, not possessions. Today's society seems to push us toward accumulation and constant comparison. Taoism offers an alternative: finding satisfaction in simply being ourselves, without trappings or adornments. This doesn't mean completely rejecting comfort, but understanding that it's just a complement, not the core of our happiness. Small practices like avoiding unnecessary purchases or simply being grateful for what we already have are practical steps to experience this Taoist vision in everyday life. And ultimately, what Taoism teaches us about materialism is that true wealth lies in peace of mind. For Lao Tzu, genuine success is living with lightness, free from the burden of constantly needing more. And this peace, ironically, is found when we let go of excess and embrace what is simple and genuine. This detachment sets the stage for the next step: learning to act without the weight of control, which we'll explore next. In Taoist philosophy, there's a concept that may sound curious to those used to the idea of always doing more: the philosophy of non-doing, or Wu Wei. Lao Tzu teaches that true strength lies in aligning with the natural rhythm of things, rather than struggling against it. Imagine a river current. Instead of swimming against it, you let yourself be carried along, moving with less effort and achieving more tranquility. For him, acting without excessive effort leads to more satisfying results, rather than exhausting ourselves trying to control every detail. This principle doesn't mean inertia or passivity, but a way of acting without forcing situations, allowing everything to flow more easily. Have you ever noticed how often things work out precisely when we're not trying too hard? Lao Tzu invites us to try this in our daily lives, perhaps by not overloading our schedule or learning to handle problems with less strain. You may find that instead of trying to solve everything now, you arrive at a more natural solution by giving the problem room to breathe. The practice of Wu Wei can be incorporated into small daily actions, like letting a conversation take its natural course without trying to control it. Have you noticed how interactions flow better when we're simply present without the need to impress or always have the right answer? The idea is to relax and let things unfold, making each moment lighter. This principle of non-doing teaches that often less is more. For those living in a fast-paced routine, applying Wu Wei may seem strange, but the effects are profound. Lao Tzu believes this philosophy helps avoid burnout. He teaches that true efficiency doesn't lie in doing everything all the time, but in doing what's necessary, at the right time, with the right energy. Instead of constant effort, he suggests harmony with the natural rhythm. Try applying this to work or studies, prioritizing what truly matters, and letting the rest flow without so much resistance. Wu Wei also invites us to accept that not everything depends on us. In daily life, we're always trying to nudge things, wanting everything to go exactly as planned. Lao Tzu, however, proposes the idea of trusting that the world also has its course. When we stop trying to control everything, we gain a sense of freedom. Imagine the relief of letting situations take their course and noticing how often they resolve themselves without much intervention. This concept also teaches us to respect the timing of each thing, avoiding forcing events before their time. Think of a plant's growth. You can't rush the process, only provide the conditions for it to grow in its own time. So it is with life. Learning to cultivate patience helps us live more balanced lives without so much anxiety over what hasn't yet come. This practice helps prevent frustration, as instead of forcing, we simply give space for things to develop. Finally, Wu Wei prepares us to embrace the next teaching, the fluidity of life, where we accept that trying to control outcomes often only exhausts us. Lao Tzu shows us that true power lies in letting go of rigidity and following the natural flow of events, which we'll explore in greater depth next. Keep following our videos and discover how small steps can transform your relationship with stress. Which practice do you plan to adopt first? Share in the comments. And of course, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for more content on living with more ease. Watch the next video on the screen and continue this journey of tranquility with us.